In lesson 4, we started to look at comparing and ordering rational numbers on a number line. I'm going to do a couple examples from class, and hopefully that will shed some light on what we did today. So example 2 asked the students from class to graph and label the following points in the number line. So there were 4 points. Okay, the first question I asked the students is what two integers all 4 of the numbers fell between in the number line. So they were very capable, very able to tell me it was between -1 and another number. Well, since negatives are kind of counting backwards and they all have -1 and some amount, it's going to be -1 and some amount, so it's between -1 and -2. And then the students and I discussed what we should break it into. We had 2 decimals and 2 fractions. Because we allow students to use calculators in the classroom, I instructed them at this time to take out their calculator and taught them how to turn the fraction 1/5 into a decimal. This is what you should punch into your calculator, 1 divided by 5, and it's going to give you the decimal 0.2. Well, you have to remember the -1 was there, so it's -1.2. Then I had them change 3/4, 3 divided by 4, on their calculator. Okay, and that's -1.75. Now I also talked to the kids about 3 divided by 4. You don't always need a calculator to do that. Okay, 3 divided by 4. 4 can't fit into 3, so I'm going to add a 0. Take a decimal, beam it up. 4 goes into 37 times. There are 2 left over. Drop the 0. 4 goes into 25 times. Just another alternative. If you don't have a calculator, you are able to divide a fraction to change it to a decimal. So I know I have 0.2, 0.6, 0.8. These are all in the tenths place. This one is in the hundredths place, but I'm going to go with the majority. I'm going to break -1 and -2, the space in between those, into tenths. 9 lines should give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spaces on my number line. And I talked to the students about how we should label them. This would be -1 and 1/10, -1 and 2/10, -1 and 3/10, -1 and 4/10, -1 and 5/10, -1 and 6/10, -1 and 7/10, -1 and 8/10, -1 and 9/10. So then we plotted our points on our number line. This is point A. This is point B. I'm going to skip C. D was -1.8. And I'm going to come back to C right now. -1.75 is in between the integers, -1.7, or the rational numbers, I should say. These are not integers. The rational numbers, -1.7 and -1.8. Halfway between there will be -1.75 and point C. It's really cool to teach the students that there are even numbers in between each of these intervals. I think that really gets them thinking mathematically. Now, since we've numbered them on the number line, the next question asked us to order them from least to greatest. The negative number that's the farthest away from 0, or the farthest to the left on your number line, is the lowest, -1.8. Then it would be -1.75, -1.6, and finally -1.2. And we talked about this, the irony. -1.8, if it was positive, it would be the largest. Okay, so this is kind of like backwards or opposite thinking when you're ordering negative numbers. And I keep telling the students to go back to one key concept. The farther a number is in the negative direction from 0, the lower that number is. We also talked about inequalities today in our lesson. And that was included right down here. Okay. And the students and I had the students pick a number less than 5 but greater than 4, talking about money, an amount of money I had in my pocket. We did $4.50 in class, but I'm going to do $4.10 on the video today, okay, as one possible value I have for the amount of money in my pocket. And then it wanted us to graph all three of those numbers in the number line. And again, it comes back to what two integers is 4, 10 in between. And it's in between 4 and 5. And we really want the kids counting the spaces in between these so they can label them with either a fraction or a decimal. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spaces in between these two integers. So this would be 4.1, 4 and 1/10. But since we're talking money, $4.10, $4.20, $4.30, $4.40, $4.50, $4.60, $4.70, $4.80, $4.90. Okay, $4 would be here, $4.10 would be here, and $5 would be here. So C, D, and E on this, we're asking the students to write an inequality. And the first three, an inequality statement. The first three inequalities we're dealing with, less than, greater than, or equal to. And 2 more inequalities will show up later throughout the year. But Part C asked us to write an inequality statement comparing the possible value of the money in your pocket to $4. Well, $4.10 is greater than $4. Now, you know, there's so many clever tricks. Pac-Man, eating the larger number, alligators, whatever works for you, please use it. Part D asks them to write an inequality comparing the possible value of the money in your pocket to $5. Well, $4.10 is less than $5. And then they wanted an inequality statement that shows a relationship between all three numbers. And since I numbered them on the number line above, I took the order from the number line. $4 is less than $4.10, which is less than 5. And this is a brief synopsis of lesson 4.